her mandate in tourism is actually creating jobs via tourism. Is that the case? If it is, perhaps we've been judging it very harshly and we've been very minimal in our thinking of what tourism actually is.
What do partners of the Gates Foundation do when facing the world's toughest challenges? They keep going. From discovering a plastic drape that helps detect excessive postpartum bleeding faster, to developing better bed nets to kill malaria-carrying mosquitoes, to researching an RSV vaccine that could save hundreds of thousands of children. For every problem, there are people who prove that progress is possible. The Gates Foundation, partners of human potential. Learn more at gatesfoundation.org/keep going.
Capital Sports Update, where sports is taken seriously.
All right, so good morning. We start off with football. You heard the CS Sports Tourism. We'll delve into that one. That tourism has taken Harambee Stars coach, Harambee Stars has brought in Harambee Stars coach Benny McCarthy, who, by the way, unveiled plans for regular training camps amid the 2025-2026 FKF Premier League season from South Africa to Kenya. That in itself is tourism, in my opinion. McCarthy says that the camps will be an opportunity to imprint his philosophy on the national team players as much as possible.
We have the local boys and we can have international cricket. So we'll try and just, even if it's just a week-long camp, it's always great to catch up and see the boys, and keeping the memory fresh on what it is that we do in the national team, the way we work and how we do it.
The league will kick off on the 20th of this month, with Harambee Stars set to resume their World Cup qualifier campaign on the 6th of next month, with away back-to-back fixtures against Burundi and Ivory Coast in a run that will not see them head to the World Cup. But hey, dead rubber still entertaining, still matches football, and still in line with our discussion of tourism. Abdul Razak Hamza and Stephen Mukwala struck in the first and second half as Tanzania giant Simba beat Gor Mahia 2-0 in a preseason friendly where Dar es Salaam, see, Tanzania considered that tourism. That was last night. That match, held in a packed Benjamin Mkapa Stadium, by the way, was the climax of Simba Day festivities that had been running throughout the day as the Tanzanian presented their new signings, including Harambee Stars forward Mohamed Bajaber. The former Kenya Police forward did not, however, feature against his Kenyan compatriots, as he was still recovering from a long-term injury. How about we wrap it up and show you what tourism does? Athletics. Two-time world record holder Eliud Kipchoge, who people will probably travel from around the world to come and train with and see here in Kenya, is actually set to make his debut at the New York Marathon on the 2nd of November. So we're taking tourism to New York. Kipchoge says his participation in the World Marathon Majors has been a long time coming. The annual competition is the only World Marathon Major race that Kipchoge is yet to run in, having participated at the Sydney Marathon last month, where he clocked 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 31 seconds, finishing 9th.
Capital Sports Update. Up to the minute sports, where sports is taken seriously.
Yeah,
Capital
she's
Sports
heading.
Update, where sports is taken seriously.
Little bit of confusion this morning, but anyway, I hear she's being exported to Nigeria. She's going to come back with an ogre husband.
I mean, she might not be coming back, but yeah. No, I'm just joking. Actually, I'm really joking about that. No, you're going to. I got your.
You are going to Nigeria, aren't you?
And I have arranged a really good couple of weeks for you, and it's a couple of weeks, by the way.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. Make sure you
She
send
is coming
lots of
back, huh?
pictures. Yeah. Well, we'll see. You never know.
All right, the latest sports news, and of course you're talking about what happened yesterday in Parliament. The sports sector has been allocated 6.4 billion shillings in the first budget of President Ruto's Kenya Kwanza government, which was read by Treasury Cabinet Secretary Professor Njuguna Ndungu in Parliament yesterday. The amount is for the 2023-24 financial year budget, which is a tremendous decrease compared to last year's allocation of 15.8 billion shillings.
Again, good memories of the late Sean Cartavilles, who passed away 2 years ago yesterday. Rest, my brother. Meanwhile, your memory lives on.
Capital Sports Update. Up to the minute sports, where sports is taken seriously.
We asked Kenyan business owners what they want from Old Mutual.
I want insurance and investment solutions that will help my business and my employees to thrive.
Your business growth is our business, so we help you protect and grow your valuable assets. From tailored retirement, medical and insurance solutions to expert-led investment services, we've got your business and your employees covered. Call Old Mutual on 0711 065 100 or visit oldmutual.co.ke today. Old Mutual. Do great things every day.
This is Capital in the Morning Breakfast Show.
The best mix of music. Capital FM.
Yeah, hey, narudi nyumbani. Been around the world, seen a lot of things, you know. I'll see you. I'm writing this letter to my daughter. I wanted to tell her I'm coming home. I'm writing this letter to my daughter. I wanted to tell her I'm coming home. But now I'm on a mission to represent my nation. But now I'm on a mission to get that victory. So switch on the TV and hope that you see me getting that victory that will make you proud of me. I went out on this mission to represent my nation. I went out on this mission to get that victory. So switch on the TV and hope that you see me getting that victory that will make you proud of me. I'm coming home, home where I belong. Whoa, I'm coming home, home where I belong. Narudi nyumbani, 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 nyumbani. Narudi nyumbani, nyumbani, nyumbani. I have seen many things, been many places, been around the world. I have seen many faces, I've fought many fights. Through the days, through the nights, through the journey, I realize there's nothing better than la familia. There's nothing sweeter or more superior than to know where you were from and represent your home. So when you hear this song, I'm coming home, I'm coming home, home where I belong. Whoa, I'm coming home, home where I belong. Narudi nyumbani, 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 nyumbani. Narudi nyumbani, 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 nyumbani. Narudi nyumbani, 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 nyumbani. Narudi nyumbani, nyumbani, nyumbani. Hey, feels good to be home. Check me out, up in the horizon. Coming home, I am coming home. Check me out, up in the horizon. Coming home, I am coming home.
It's interesting that Nameless saw it way before we did. He and CS Rebecca Miano of Tourism and Wildlife already figured it out. Rudy Nyumbani coming home, Nameless laying right here on Capital in the morning with Philaris and Chico, and that is what the CS said. The world will be thinking, I'm going home. It's just that simple. So what is home to you? Is home just the front door? Is home just the bedroom? Is home just the bathroom? No. Home is everything that encompasses that house and the people in it and what you do. That is home. And I think it is that broad thinking that we're trying to build right here on Capital in the morning.
Seeing so many of your messages coming in through our WhatsApp line 07019849984. Message here to Madam CS saying, please let me give Madam OGW her flowers. She has that Midas touch and decorum from Kenyan Ministry of Wildlife, Trade and now Tourism. Keep up the good work. And proceeds to say that this person shook your hand once na hajawai sahau. Well, we will not forget these days. We have this conversation around tourism, wildlife, and something else that we were talking about when the mics were off is how do we distinguish between the two?
Absolutely. And congratulations, you shook her hand. I'm shaking her hand, taking pictures with her. Heck, I'm getting her number, so good on you.
Who's winning now?
Who's winning now? Mama, I made it. But yes, so how about we talk about this? Tourism and wildlife. Now, the mistake we make is that we put them and jumble them together. And so when you say the sector is flourishing, we end up asking CS that ala aje sioni watu kwa beaches, watu wakuji kwa Masai Mara, but when you separate them, you see a totally different picture. You mentioned something interesting, cycling. Now, I had the pleasure of hosting the ICU, the UCI, the cycling competition that was held in Eldoret. Eldoret, 3 counties, Eldoret, Uasin Gishu, and the third one, I can't remember. But yeah, we were there, and it was a whole African championship, right? In my opinion, that in itself is sports tourism. Those who come to Iten to train, they come to see Eliud Kipchoge, they come to see our competitions here. Tourism. Education. We have schools that we have students coming through Uganda, Nigeria, around Africa to have education. Tourism. Now, if this statement is correct, which I left and I said you'd correct me if I'm wrong or you'd back it up, creating jobs via tourism is a core factor of your sector and of your dream and of your vision. Do you think that we are robbing this sector of the worthy praise it has because we've narrowed it down to just wildlife?
I fully agree with you. For a long time and historically, many people in Kenya and even Africa considered tourism very narrowly. People coming from other countries as tourists to come and see animals and go to Mombasa to swim. So that is quite narrow because tourism is much more than that. Tourism actually is in every space that we have. Like you have talked about sports tourism, we have seen the athletics, you have seen what is happening in Iten, the cyclists. In fact, a few months ago, we hosted a water rafting sports competition that was international at Sagana.
Yeah.
We had more than 10 nationalities. That is tourism. Adventure, trails, hiking, mountain climbing has found its space in Kenya. Every weekend, Mount Longonot, Ngong, everywhere, there are people doing that, including walks and everything. That's a whole segment of tourism. If you look at meetings, conferences, incentives, that is another big segment. Kenya is a very, very preferred destination. If you look at KICC and other MICE places, even the big hotels, every week we have delegations from across the country. Just this week, Tuesday and Wednesday, we had a MICE conference, Africa MICE conference, with many Africans who came in. Of course, you remember last year we had an international agriculture and fertilizer conference. We had the annual general meeting of AFDB. We had many, many international meetings, including Africa Climate Summit. And I want to say that as part of tourism, Kenya is huge in terms of meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. If you look at other segments of tourism, culture, if you look at the cultural events we have had, The Turkanas have their Tobong Lore, the Ma Cultural Festival, Lamu Cultural Festival. This month of September, we are having the Samburu Kamo Derby. 70 countries in this world are participating, and many, many more. So I want to agree with you. Tourism is much more than just going to see animals, wildlife. It is a creator of jobs. 80% of the workers in the tourism and hospitality sector are our youth below the age of 35. We have more than 3.8 million youth working in the tourism sector. It could even be called tourism sector, aka youth employment sort of space.
I like that. Yeah. True.
And it's also a place where entrepreneurship, especially by the young people, gets its space. You can have your startup, your hotel, your establishment, your tour operators, and all that. So in there is room for entrepreneurship, economic empowerment, and a huge one is creatives. Every day when I go online, be it TikTok, X, Instagram, other platforms, it is amazing what our young people are creating for our country. Each young person, in my view, is an open billboard to advertise our country. And therefore, we must tap into their innovation, their creativity, and their skills, and work together and give them opportunities to do that. Why should I, as a ministry, look for creatives na huko mbali, use money, yet my billboards are here walking in this country? That is where I want partnership with the young creatives so that they get that space. They understand our country. They love our country. This is home. They have the feeling we want. That is my vision, that all creative will be done by the young people going forward.
You know, that's blown, I feel like I could cross over this to just give you a hug, because that's blown my mind, because in that statement, you have incorporated something that is fully ignored and has been ignored for a very long time, that resource, youth, and social media all in one. I can't wait for you to just reveal at one point your plan on how to incorporate them. I love that you're working on it, and I'm dying to find out more on that one.
There's something very interesting that the ministry did not too long ago, and maybe we can speak about it for a little bit, where there was a call out for people to submit where you come from across Kenya, because the destinations, I mean, so many hidden gems, and the call was for submissions, and I know there were so many submissions, close to 10,000 people who submitted short videos of where they were across the country, and I believe that also expanded what the ministry is able to understand about those parts of this country that remain largely undiscovered, which I found was very innovative, and it would be nice to see what the next step to that would be.
Yes. So we had two initiatives. One was a photography competition, and we called in and we got photographs. You should have seen the winning photographs. In fact, we want to see what best use we can make of those photographs and monetize them for the people who took photos. We've got talent here. That was one. And guys were excited. They sent photos from their home, from where they come from the grassroots. That was one. And then there was this campaign of Hapani Home. Just wherever you are, you just show us Hapani Home. And we got quite a lot of that. And that confirmed the desire for our young people to participate in packaging and selling our country. Just to go back to what I said about our partnership with the youth, we are even creating some physical space, a youth hub at the ministry. It's right now under preparation, and we will partner with them both online, and they'll be free to come in and even discuss with us the ideas. My desire is that from there we shall have startups and ideas that we can take forth to fruition and implementation. And so that space is very exciting. But the other point I want to put in, tourism, like we said, is larger than just walking in to come and see animals and swim. It is a whole value chain. If you look at the hotels we have and hospitality destinations, imagine the suppliers of the food, the eggs we eat in the morning, the bread, the fruits, all that value chain is supporting the economy. If you look at other supplies, cleaning materials, if you look at the laundry, those towels that you take for granted, if you look at the tables, the chairs, actually tourism is one of the backbones of this economy. And if tourism is thriving, you can feel it. Even the mood and the vibe in a country can be determined by tourism, because it is a whole value chain that every dot is actually connected by tourism. Where we are here at this establishment, you can see even the weekends, there are people who come here for shopping from other countries. Those are tourists. I went recently to a shopping mall and I bumped into a colleague minister from an East African country shopping tourism. So tourism is everywhere. We have education tourism. We have many, many international students in Kenya, in our schools, who prefer to get education from Kenya. Health tourism. Our hospitals are serving even the region. The recently opened kidney center is serving the whole of East Africa. It is one of the centers, in addition to South Africa and Egypt, that is able to do proper kidney tests. And therefore, that's a big addition to medical tourism. Is it last week when we had the religious Rema
festival, the Rema Festival.
Religious tourism. If you look at how many people came in from across the region, so I would like everyone to know, add the word tourism in everything you do. So long as it is able to attract another person beyond yourself, both domestic and international, that is tourism.
I love that you said it that way, because it's a red car effect, where I can ask you today, how many red cars did you see? None. But the moment you start thinking of red cars, you'll start seeing them. So when you start to look at tourism in everything, you will start to see it, and then you can help the industry grow. But as we said, it's a dangerous thing to look at it from a bird's eye view, because like Cyndi Lauper sang, from a distance the world looks blue and green, and everyone seems peaceful. When you get in, that's where you see the details, and that's what we're seeing right here and right now. Now, having talked about that, there's still an aspect of getting home, and we'll get to that. But first, can we just touch a little bit on wildlife? Because I see, I was reading some of the things prepared by our very capable news team, and they were concerned about the visitor behavior in the Masai Mara. There's a danger, not just to the visitors themselves, but also to that sector. And during events like, the wildlife the wildebeest migration, what measures are you and your ministry putting in place to ensure that such incidents are actually prevented going forward?
Yes, we have recently seen some behaviors that were not quite acceptable. And we actually looked at what was happening. I want to confirm that we have expected standards that all visitors and everyone in the parks must observe. Because conservation is a critical aspect of our country. We want to preserve our heritage, we want to preserve our animals, and also the whole of biodiversity. And that's why the Tourism Regulatory Authority and our Kenya Wildlife Service are present in those spaces to ensure that we maintain the proper standards, international standards. And we have taken it very seriously and issued the rules that should be followed in the park. I must say, they are not very many, but because of the sensitive nature of conservation, when you get one incident, it goes viral. But we also take it seriously, whether it's one, whether it's few, to ensure that in future, everyone knows about the rules they should follow, and we eradicate all that. Our KWS, working together with the county governments, are on red alert, and they are very, very present there to eradicate those things.
It's interesting. Big shout out, by the way, to KWS. Some of my friends there. I'm a very big fan of the national park here because it's not cheap to go to other places like Amboseli, Masai Mara, which is another discussion altogether. Conservancies and how they play a part is another discussion altogether. We don't have the time for that one right now, so we'll focus on what we have right now, which brings me back to something you said, coming home. And I said we'd revisit that statement, right?
Yes.
Because this is where now we try and discuss what the ministry is doing in order to ensuring that coming home is easy for people around the world. Now, the challenge for me here, and I'm certain for you, is that you cannot work as the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife in autonomy. You need correlations with other ministries. Chan just happened. That was tourism on a big scale. But I also got a chance to deal with people who were from different countries who were talking about coming in. I know the Ministry of Interior, big shout out to the minister there. I may criticize you time and again, former churchmate, but when it comes to Chan, did a brilliant job, including making people like Babadogo, Githurai enjoy the game in Nairobi, these viewings, for those who couldn't make it there. So there's a need for your ministry to work in tandem with other ministries, and that leads us to ensuring that the safari ya kuja nyumbani ni poa. And it starts off with the first point of contact. Airlines. I am going to board a plane. We need to talk about that. I land, JKIA, immigration, the roof can be leaking, that whole situation, come into the country, security. You know where I'm going with this, and I don't even need to go on and ask a question. I just want your thoughts on how all this is going to relate and how you're going to be able to make it work.
Yes, truly, coming home should never be difficult. And we all know if you want to pack and go home, you know the route, you know everything, and you look forward to their arrival. So Kenya, if it is the home of human origin, and we are inviting people to come back home, there are things we must do to make it easier, more open and accessible. Like you said, the first point of entry, 70% of all visitors into Kenya use the airports. JKIA is a major entry point, and so is Moi International Airport in Mombasa, and that is the first contact. In as much as we have all agreed that Kenya urgently needs a state-of-the-art modern airport, deserving of taking people home like many other countries, as that is going on, we must then make do with what we have. That's why earlier in the year, together with the Ministry of Transport, with immigration, we spent a lot of time at the airport, sorting out, coming up with service charters, streamlining whatever operations there are. You must agree with me that lately you haven't had a lot of commotion, a lot of complaints about the airport. And what I love about Kenyans, when they are unhappy, hawanyamazi. Not only them when they are unhappy, if they imagine anybody coming to Kenya will be unhappy. Because the ones who are talking about the airport, it's not necessarily that they traveled, but they don't want to hear that there are any inconveniences. We took that up, went to the airport. It is an intergovernmental place because you will find immigration, you will find the police, you will find KRA and everyone. So we tidied up that space, and we knew what kind of service everybody should give. So the service charters helped a lot. We also removed some of those processes that were embarrassing. Masanduku inafunguliwa in front of people. All those we worked on. The infrastructure, the leakage and all that has been managed. And so we are continuously working on the airport to make sure that it is delightful when you get to the airport. The second one that we have achieved a lot is opening our skies. Lately, especially this year, we have licensed, the Ministry of Transport, government has licensed a few more airlines to bring visitors. Because it is, yes, including this week. For example, Emirates has gotten a third frequency. British Airlines has been licensed. We have some airlines that have been licensed to even fly into Mombasa, Air Asia, Fly Dubai, and that is one of the greatest breakthroughs so far. The sector has really been appealing for more skies or more access into Kenya. Yeah. That's another achievement.
Brilliant, I agree.
The third one is the visa issue. Last year, the government approved the electronic travel authorization. Remember, there was a lot of noise, commotion online. Yes. These days, we streamlined. And one of the things that happened, African countries, many of them that qualified, except 2, are now they are now free to just enter Kenya. So it's visa free for many African countries, and even for the others, it is so quick to get your ETA, maximum 72 hours. Just imagine, even here in Kenya, you want to travel to some destinations, you have to plan for your visa 3 weeks, 1 month in advance. It is very expensive. In Kenya, it is $30 maximum, the outer limit 72 hours. There is even an express service where you get your ETA instant. And so I think that has really helped and is making it easier. Looking at the numbers, though the numbers for the year are still coming in, but half year we have seen better numbers compared to half year 2024. Wow. And all this, I think, is bearing fruit. And of course, in July, June, we had a few cancellations because of the political activities that were going on. But all in all, numbers are looking better this year than last year. And so we are continuously improving the point of entry, not only the airport, the border posts, and all the entries into Kenya.
And it's not a condemnation of Kenya Airways. I know there's a lot of concern. Oh, you open the skies, you allow people. No, it's not at all. That is also very key because there are routes within this country that you will use them and you won't have the other airlines. Just get them home. Get them home.
It's just like a road where vehicles...
We move.
We move. You have your space, I have my space. We move. I support you.
And I like the collaboration aspect. There's no way we're going to be having a conversation about tourism and not have a conversation about transport and ease of people getting into the country and immigration. Security. So all of them have to work in tandem, like you said. I've seen so much of your feedback coming in through our WhatsApp line, 0701 984 984. Very long question here, which Madam Waziri, you'll have to allow us to ask this, and this is coming from one Gidel, who does ask, I have a question around what the ministry is doing to regulate park and conservancy fees for resources controlled by the county governments. We risk losing to the competition who have similar offerings. Case in point, the Masai Mara fee charged from $80 to $200, the same experience in the Serengeti. Now we have the Amboseli, also run by the county government, and we all know what will come next in terms of pricing. What is Waziri's take on this?
My take is that we have 3 levels of wildlife conservation. Number 1, national parks under the national government, that is KWS. Then national reserves under counties. Then we have conservancies. And everybody has their space to play. Then the national reserves that are run by counties, we also partner with KWS for conservation matters. The conversation about affordability has been here with us for a while. The national parks fees has not been reviewed for the last 15 years. Despite the movement in life, the value of money, increased conservation fees, it has been stable for the last 15 years, which is no longer sustainable. To go to Nairobi National Park a whole day, a Kenyan citizen pays 430 shillings. And a visitor pays about $50 or $43 to be precise. And so I think it is a narrative that is not correct. I would wish to correct that the fees have been constant for a very, very long time. It is very expensive to manage our parks and our conservation areas and all that. And that's why there is an exercise to try to rationalize and review and see the best value for money, the best charge to have for conservation. Under the counties, I think the one that is really we can talk about is Masai Mara, which is under the Narok County. Masai Mara for a long time has also been charging very low fees. This was revised in 2024. And that there was an increase up to about $100 to $200, depending on what it is. If you look at most of the accommodation and other services that are in the park, you will find accommodations going even for $1,500 a day and so on, and other services. And therefore, the park fee, which gives you entry into the whole ecosystem, in my opinion, is quite reasonable. But out of lack of proper information and accuracy, then you find the narrative peaking and everyone participating without proper knowledge. For the industry, we are preparing a forum with the private sector and stakeholders so that we spend some time with the Narok County so that we understand their management plans, the fees that are there. Some of the destinations that are mentioned online, and many people say this destination is cheaper than Masai Mara, we have gone there. There are so many other subcharges. At the end of the day, the ballpark figure is more than the one that is being charged at Masai Mara. And I can tell you very, very firmly, our charges are not out of the norm, and they are not higher than any destination. And I would stand here because I was concerned myself. But I just want to say, let us be factual. Where anyone has concern, it is always good to seek clarification, to challenge somebody. Tell me why Masai Mara is more expensive than this other destination, and so, and the information will be available. Always willing to clarify and give the correct information. But right now, there is no cause for alarm, there is no cause for complaints, and all this campaign that you see, yes.
First family in the world had a home, and guess what happened? Perfect family, a brother killed another brother. Listen, when you're in a family, you know there's a bit of drama, but ultimately the bigger picture is what you see and what you sell. So let's be factual and remember, while we have teething problems here and there, there's so much good that we need to focus on instead of focusing on the bad. Now, this is coming from a person who's very quick to focus on the bad when it deserves it, but when it comes to your sector, Madam CS Rebecca Miano, I will give you the kudos that you absolutely deserve. I saw Gitu Kirubi with a question. Gatu Kirubi, I beg your pardon, with a question. We'll ask her and then we'll try and answer it for you depending on what she says. We've run out of time. We're very honored to have you here. You described Kenya in an amazing way, your vision to bring them home, but I dare say I need you to describe this country, if you were to describe it after you give your final thoughts in 3 words, what those 3 words would be to describe this country of yours, which you're selling as tourism.
Kenya is God's gift shop for the world.
Ooh.
Enough said.